Today we're going to go ahead and start our third video on the Hornady Lock and Load Progressive Press. Today what we're going to cover is we're going to cover the entire powder measure assembly. We're going to cover it from the base up, okay? When I get done with this video, you'll know how to take your powder measure assembly from the ground up, clean it, put it together, prime it so you get accurate charges, and you'll know how to adjust it for different type brass, okay? This is the third video. If you haven't seen my first two videos, my first video is on the shell plate and any related issues that are caused by that shell plate. The second video covers the entire priming assembly. If you're having any types of problems with your priming system, go to that video. Okay, now if you don't own this reloading press yet and you're really thinking about buying it, I highly encourage you to watch all the videos on this series. Okay, when you get done watching these, I guarantee you'll buy this press. Okay. 2, maybe you bought the press and you haven't set it up, you're a little bit intimidated. Watch all my videos. When I get done with these videos and you watch every one of them, you're going to know how to set it up from the ground up. And 3, if you already have this press and it's working for you, still go through, watch my videos. I'm going to show you a lot of hints, a lot of tricks, and it's going to help things work smoother for you. Now, this is what I want to say. If after you watch my videos and you're still struggling with any part of your press, call customer service. Those guys are excellent. Okay, Hornady is #1 in the business. Okay, if you're new to reloading, they have every bell and whistle you need. They can start you with basic reloading, and from there it all goes up. They're the one-stop shop for reloading. Okay, that's why I run with Hornady. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead, and right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I do to clean all the components of the powder measure assembly, and this is also what I do to clean my shell plates, my press, everything. Okay. What I do is I take rubbing alcohol. Now I've already cleaned everything on this bench, so we don't have to stop and clean everything, but I'm going to just show you a few of the basics. Okay. Take you some rubbing alcohol. The reason you want to use this, it does a good job cleaning. Okay. It removes any grease you might have on things, and it also evaporates fast, so you're ready to take right off. Okay, this powder hopper baffle, it's already cleaned, but just take your rubbing alcohol, wipe everything down. Okay, get everything off of it so it's nice and smooth. Okay, now this is what I'm going to tell you. When using the rubbing alcohol on these parts, be very careful. You don't want to get it on your O-rings. If you get it on the O-ring, it's going to swell it up, dry it out, and crack it, and your O-ring's done. What I do is I have extra O-rings of everything. Okay, you can call Hornady and order them. Okay, they'll sell them to you, they'll send them to you, and just keep them as backup. Okay, but these are the originals. They'll just last forever. So give everything just a real good wipe down. Even if it's brand new, you're going to wipe everything down. Okay, everything. Wipe your powder through down. Get it all clean. What you want to do is take some Q-tips and go inside everything. Get it all cleaned out. Keep going and throw the Q-tip away. Just keep throwing it away till that Q-tip comes out white. Then you're ready to go. Okay? So that's the first thing. So you're going to get everything wiped down. Now we get to assemble this bad boy. This is where the fun begins. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the base of your powder measure assembly, this tube here. Go ahead and get your lock and load lock ring put on there. And go ahead and run the lock and load bushing up there. And just run it up there. I'm going to show you how to dial it in. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put the bushing in there and twist it in with your fingers so the bushing's locked. Okay. So there, that's set to go. Now set this to where the shoulder bolt is to the back right. Okay. And the rest is facing toward you. Okay. Now go ahead and take the powder measure base assembly here and make sure, once again, it's all cleaned out. Clean the inside out real good. Clean where your powder rotor goes in there. And the nice thing about the rubbing alcohol is it dries fast and you're ready to rock and roll. Okay, so don't forget your powder through. Put your powder through in there and just slide this in there like so. Now, at this point, we're ready to attach this long arm on the linkage to the shoulder bolt. but I want to show you what I did, okay? A lot of guys, they complain that this linkage comes loose because this shoulder bolt backs out, okay? So I want to show you what I did, okay? Let me pull this shoulder bolt out. This shoulder bolt, here's the bolt head and here's the shoulder. I put this O-ring on, okay? Let me show you something. I bought this O-ring kit, okay? Went over to Harbor Freight and I bought it. And I take this 1.5 by 1.9 millimeter O-ring and you put it on the shoulder of this shoulder bolt. Let me put my camera back. So now, go ahead and run that shoulder bolt back in. Get her in there. Let's get our linkage set up over that, okay? And now, just keep running that shoulder bolt up until you're snug. You don't need to tighten it with anything more than your fingers. There, we're set up. Now, this shoulder bolt is not going to come loose. It'll stay that way for as many rounds as you want to load, okay? So there we go. So we got that set up. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to put our rotor in. But now, I want to talk about rotors, okay? There's two types of rotors that come with this press. And what I'm going to tell you about these rotors is I'm going to clear up a lot of mystery. One rotor is a pistol rotor. The other rotor is a rifle rotor, okay? A lot of guys don't understand, okay, where the switch off is. They don't know when to use the pistol rotor and when to use the rifle rotor. This is my advice. When you're loading pistol, you run the pistol. When you're loading a rifle, you run the rifle. I know that sounds funny, but here's the deal. This is the pistol rotor, okay? As you can see, the diameter of this shaft going into the pistol rotor is a lot smaller. So this rotor isn't going to be able to charge as much powder as this rotor. As you can see, the full diameter of this, all the way through the hole in that, is much larger than the smaller hole inside of that. Now let me tell you this. This pistol rotor will hold roughly 10 grains of unique powder. It will hold roughly 11.5 grains of bullseye, okay? So, anything up to those weights, this pistol rotor is good for, okay? If you're going to go any higher than that, you want to go a rifle, okay? But I always use my pistol rotor for my pistols. It's always enough. A lot of guys say, well, I don't know when to switch over. Well, here's the problem. A lot of guys, they take this rotor out of the equation and they run the rifle rotor, okay? Here's the problem. If you're going to throw 4 grains of any powder you want to choose, you're running 4 grains, you're down to 4 grains. You hear a lot of guys say, well, you know, it doesn't throw accurate charges. Well, the problem is you're asking this to do what it's not intended to do, okay? Another thing, to get 4 grains of powder out of this bad boy, hang on, let me set my camera down. I want to do something here, guys. Okay, I just put this, the meter in, and it's come through the other side of this rotor. For 4 grains of powder, hang on, guys. For 4 grains of powder, as you can see, I'm adjusting that. This top portion is beveled. To get 4 grains of powder, any less than that, and this is going to begin scraping on the inside body of your powder measure. And in other words, this isn't designed to be measuring minimal charges like that, okay? When you start getting down to, you know, those minimal charges, you need to bring your pistol rotor into play. And you need to bring your pistol rotor into play when you're measuring anything 10 grains or lower. That's just it. Okay? Now, anything more than 10 grains, you want to go to the rifle, and it's gonna throw it really accurately. So, I hear a lot of guys say, well, you know, if I'm trying to get 5 grains of unique, I'm throwing anywhere from 3 grains to 7 grains. Well, most likely they're using this rifle rotor when they should use the pistol rotor. You use the pistol rotor and you'll be just fine, okay? So with that in mind, what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and assemble this with the pistol rotor. I hope that I was clear on that, okay? So the next thing you want to do is go ahead and put the pistol rotor in, and when you put it in, this release button for the metering insert goes towards you, not towards the back, okay? It's going to go towards you, okay? So go ahead, put your metering insert in, okay? And you want to make sure it's in good. You don't want to have it partially in there and start filling it with powder and have it pop out and lose your powder on the floor. You know, make sure it's in there good. Okay. Next thing you want to do, you want to take your linkage. Okay. Take the long slot here. Put it on this base pin. You just lean it on there like that. Then you want to take these little set screws and you want to just run them into the linkage like that. Line your linkage up to the rotor and just start the first screw. You don't want to snug it all the way down. Okay. Take your second screw, run it into the linkage like so. Line it up so it'll thread in and run it in. Now that they're both in, you can snug them both up. Okay. Now you can tighten them. Now what I tell people is, you know, I'm huge on not over tightening things. So just snug it up. There you go. That's all you need. Now you're ready to roll. The last thing you want to do is put your spring on. Okay? There you go. So now we got the entire assembly set up. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our hopper tube in. But I want to show you something. This is my old hopper tube. This is my new hopper tube. I'm going to tell you why this is colored. When you put powder in and you reload for a short time, when you're done, you want to take your powder out. Otherwise, it's going to turn color like this, okay? If you want your tube to stay nice and clean like this tube, every time you reload, take it out, and your tube will stay clear for a long time. Just like this one. See how this one's nice and clear? Okay, I've used that one quite a bit. I always take the powder out of this when I'm done. However, this one, I abuse this one. I really don't care, you know, if it's always nice and clear. If I come out and I'm reloading in the evening and I know I'm going to take off the next day and reloading the next morning, I'll go ahead and leave this filled with powder, and the next morning I'll come right out and I'll begin reloading. Now, if I know I'm not going to reload the next morning, I'll go ahead and empty it. So the most I have is the powder sitting in this overnight. As you can see, it's turned color quite a bit, you know. So if you leave it in for longer than that, it's really going to turn color and begin being difficult to see your powder in there. What's happening is when you leave the powder in there, one thing I want to recommend right now, when you're reloading, don't reload it like that. Always have this on and have it tight. That's what keeps the oxygen out of there. What happens if you get the oxygen in there, it begins. You know, if you leave it in there overnight with that lid off, you'll come out and you'll smell that powder, okay, permeating through the whole garage. And what's happening is you're losing the chemicals out of it, and you're actually oxidizing the powder. And what happens is that oxygen gets in the powder, and it causes an oxidation process, and it begins etching your tube. And that's what you're seeing is the etching of that tube, okay? Now, one last thing I want to tell you, and I hope I do a good job. You see how the bottom of that is shaved, okay? That's because I put that in there into the hopper and then I just pulled it out today. What you don't want to do is once you put a tube in there, see how loose that fits? Can you see that? Okay. Now if I push that down, it'll push in there tighter. But what you don't want to do is this, is you don't want to always take this off to clean it, okay? I'll show you how to clean this when I'm done with the tube on. But what you don't want to do is take this off and on, off and on, off and on, and I'll tell you why. Because what will happen if you do that, one day you're sitting here reloading and this is vibrating and you don't notice it, and all of a sudden this falls off and it's full of powder and your powder goes on the floor. So once that goes in, you leave it. You don't take it out. Okay, so for right now, we're not going to put the tube in because we're going to be taking this off and on. We'll just leave the tube off. Okay, just for conversation's sake. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, that's kind of gunpowder 101 right there for the powder hopper. So now, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this in a little closer here to you. See if I can do this. All right, good enough. What I want to do is we're going to work with setting the height of this up, okay? And I'm going to take this 44 special brass, and I'm going to slip it into the shell plate, and I'm going to cycle it over to the powder position, and I'm going to come up, okay? Hang on, I got to move this, guys. I'm kind of in the way of myself. Okay, so I'm going to run the brass up to top dead center. So now my base plate is top dead center. As you can see, okay, my rotor is coming up just a little bit. Can you see that? Okay. What you want to do is you want to set this up to where this metering assembly comes up and just clicks on the top of this housing. You want it to click. If you're not coming all the way up and clicking, listen to that. If you're not getting that click, you're not going to get consistent powder charges. That's the first thing we're going to learn about getting a consistent powder charge, is getting that to click properly. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the lazy man way of dialing this in. Take your lock ring, run it up. Okay, kind of get it out of the way. Now, watch this. I'm going to begin spinning this and watch this automatically raise up. And spin it with the brass in top dead center. Now watch. See, that's raising. That way you don't have to guess at it. Now, if you look at that, it's not quite touching. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go, and now I can't turn that anymore because this is locked into the powder assembly body housing here. So now this is what I want to do. At this point, once you're that way, okay, let me make sure my camera's where it should be. Lower the brass, and you're going to just turn this a little more. Now listen to this. Listen to this. Hear that? You got to click on the bottom, click on the top. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want. So now that you got that done, go ahead, raise it to top dead center. Now, go ahead and spin your die ring down, okay? And what you want to do is you want to snug that die ring up just a hair. Watch. This is all the more I'm going to tighten it. There you go, okay? So go ahead and tighten it with the crescent wrench there. Then you're going to take your Allen wrench and you're going to go ahead and tighten this set screw, and now that's set. So now we have our height set properly on this, okay? So now we're ready to go for 44 special. Now what I'm going to show you is, let's say you did you want to go to a caliber with a longer case. Let's say you're going from 38 special to 357 mag, or 44 special to 44 mag, or you're going, you know, from a shorter case to a longer. This is what you're going to do. You're going to come over and you're going to loosen this set screw on the adjusting ring, okay? And you're going to loosen it. Look how it didn't take much to loosen that, did it? You don't have to put a lot of torque on that to tighten it. So now we're going to run that up, okay? Can you see? We're going to run that up. Now, we had it set for this 44 special, but now I'm going to put this 44 mag in there. Now watch this. Hang on, guys. I got to tighten this like a node bushing down. Okay. Okay. As you can see, I'm not all the way up, and this is already maxed out. So all you got to do is this. See, I overextended my spring there. Going from 44 special to 44 mag is roughly 2 turns, okay? It's not quite 2 turns. I got to back that off. and you're just going to back it off to where that metering insert is clicking on the top and the bottom. Okay, we're about right. Okay, so now that I have it set where I want it, okay, go ahead and run the base of the base all the way up to top dead center. Okay, run your lock ring down, snug it up. You don't need a lot, just snug it up. Then you're going to take this, there you go, just snug that screw up and you're ready to go. So now this is what I do. I'm all dialed in. I drop it, and then I take it out and I go ahead and I put it back in to where this is facing me. Now every time that I go up when I'm reloading, I can keep an eye on where I'm at. Okay. Also, my adjustment screw is towards me. It's not off either way or to the back. I want to be able to see everything right here, front view. Okay. So now at this point, we have it all set up, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to back this card off now. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. We're not doing this high tech, but we are going to do a good job for you. Okay, there you go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this new tube, and I'm just going to tap it in there. And I want to do it as even as I can. I don't want it off canter. There I go. I'm in. How's that look? Look pretty good? All right, so we have everything set up. We're ready to go, but now there's one last hint I want to share with you on the setup. A lot of guys, they say that, and we're not putting the baffle in yet. Hang with me on the baffle. A lot of guys say that when they have this powder measure set up, that after, say, 40 or 50 rounds, it gets thrown off like this, and this is what happens. They're coming in to throw the powder, and watch this powder measure raise. They have that happen, okay? If that happens and you don't notice it, you're going to get a dud, because as you can see, the rotor didn't cycle, so you're not going to get any powder. Very dangerous, not good. Okay, so you're going to get a dud. Okay, with a dud, it's going to get stuck in the barrel. Okay, not good. So I'm going to tell you what I did to correct this. Okay, once again, I'm going to move my camera. Okay, I bought this, once again, this O-ring kit that I bought from Harbor Freight has a 22 by 3 millimeter O-ring. Okay, so take that 22 by 3 millimeter O-ring. All these lock and load bushings come with those O-rings on them. Okay, what you want to do with the powder assembly is take the original O-ring off and put the 22 by 3 millimeter O-ring on, and watch this. It's snug. It's just enough that it's going to hold this in there, and you're not going to have issues with that coming out. Okay, I don't have any issues with this walking counterclockwise on me and then lifting out on the powder throw. Okay, I don't ever have that problem. At first I did. I swapped that O-ring out and it corrected it. Now, here's the thing, is you don't have to change all the O-rings on these, and I'll tell you why. On your reloading dies, they don't have a lot of upper top weight to them, okay? So they're going to stay put. They're not going to tend to walk counterclockwise on you and come out. But because the powder measure has all the mass of the powder up here, it tends to rock back and forth, and it'll walk counterclockwise on you, and the next thing you know, with each stroke, it begins coming up like that. And now your entire accurate process has been interfered on, and that's dangerous. So change that O-ring out regardless. I highly recommend don't change the O-rings out on the individual reloading dice. There's no need. This lock and load bushing stays with this powder measure. I just leave it that way. So I hope that's a lot of good information there for you. So now what I'm going to show you is how to clean this out without having to tear it down, okay? What I do, okay, I get a wrench, and in between powder changes, I'll stick this in here like that, my cotton cloth. Don't use Kleenex or something that's gonna leave material, okay? Just a good cotton cloth, okay? Take your wrench, get in there like that, work the powder out, okay? Now, reach in there. I packed it down a little hard there, and just pull that out, and all your remaining powder that's kind of stuck in there will come out, okay? I had that wiped down, and look how dirty that is. So really, you know, kind of pack it down there and spin it around, and it'll knock out any powder you have down there. So each time you do a powder change, you're going to want to do that. Now, the other thing you want to do when you do a powder change, okay, you're going to want to pull the metering insert out, okay, and our safety glasses are on. Take a little compressed air, blow it out like that, okay? Take your metering insert, stick it back in, okay? So now, there we go. See, they can fight you a little bit going in, so you want to make sure they're in solid. You don't want this full of powder, and then after, you know, a few cycles up and down, that fall out and lose your powder. Not a good thing. So there we go. So now, this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a little trick, okay? And what this trick is it's going to help you to set your powder measure up so you're throwing more consistent and accurate charges. As a matter of fact, on my next video, I'm going to compare this powder measure to my standalone Hornady powder measure, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the same powder, we're going to dial them in for the same charge, and we're going to start throwing charges, and I'm going to show you how accurate and close they both are, okay? So, what you want to do is you want to get you some graphite lubricant, just like that. Now, if you're using it right out of the tube for the first time, there you go. That was too much. Okay? So you just put it in there like that. I put a Tupperware dish. My Tupperware dish is just big enough that I can put the graphite tube in when I'm done to keep moisture out, but it'll fit inside my press. Okay? Now watch. I collected that. I'm going to throw this back in. What I'm doing is I'm watching, and I got my eye focused right here, and I can see the graphite falling. And what that graphite's doing is working through that, and it's smoothing out the everything that's moving in there that the powder's going to touch. And they're not going to hurt anything, okay? Gunpowder has graphite in it, so you're not going to hurt anything, okay? So just cycle it through like that. And what will happen is you're still going to have a little residual graphite falling. That's okay. It's going to get on your shell plate. No problem. A little graphite on the shell plate is going to lubricate things up. That's fine. Okay? So there we go. So now I can take my baffle. That's why I didn't put my baffle in yet, because I knew I was going to go ahead and run some graphite through there. So now I got my baffle in there, and I'm ready to go. Okay. So based on that, what you learned was, you know, when you're wiping this stuff down, okay, use some rubbing alcohol, keep it off the O-rings. Okay. You learned how to assemble it. If you're going to disassemble this, you're going to do everything opposite. You're going to pull your return spring off. You're going to go ahead and loosen the shorter linkage and remove it with the screws. Then you're going to pull your metering insert out. Then you're going to remove your rotor. And then you're going to loosen the shoulder screw. And you're going to take the powder measure body off. And then you're down to your tube. Okay, it's just reverse order of what we did. That's all. Okay. One thing I'd highly recommend on all your springs on this press, call Hornady, purchase you an extra spring for everything, and while you're at it, purchase you an extra O-ring for everything. But use the 22 by 3 millimeter O-ring on this lock and load bushing. Only way to go. You won't regret it. So there we go. That's it. Pretty much we covered everything you need to know to get this dialed in. Now, on my next video, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill this and we're going to start running powder charges. And I'm going to show you how accurate this is, and we're going to compare it to the standalone Hornady powder measure. I love these powder measures. They're the best in the business. These machine parts are machined to absolute perfection. So they're designed to work and work good and work accurately. So there you go. That's the video. So anyway, I thank you for watching my video. I hope it helps. The whole reason I started these videos was so guys that are struggling with getting this monster going, they find out once they get it going, it's the best press in the business. If you don't own this press when you get done with my series, you will own it. So if you want to say hi to me, get to know me, go to the firearmsforum.com. I go by 76 Highboy on there. Get on there, say hi to me. There's a ton of reloading information on there, and the guys on there are great. They're the best. This is the best in the world. So, so there we go. So this thing's it's a monster. You can put out a lot of ammunition, but what I like about it is you can put out a lot of precision ammunition, very precise. So the last thing I'll say is this. If you hurt yourself reloading or shooting your guns, I am not responsible. Absolutely not. I advise you to get professional reloading instruction and professional shooting instruction for you and your family. It could be the best thing you ever did. And once you get the basics down, you can apply what I'm telling you on this press to the basics right across the board, okay? And you'll be able to produce really great ammunition. Now, a lot of guys, when they get into reloading, they do it to save money. You're not going to save money, not at first. But you are going to learn how you can reload ammunition better than factory, without a doubt. People say, well, the factory ammo has gotten so much better over the years that you can't beat what they make. Yes, you can, because when their standards step up, your standards will step up. When they're using better bullets and better powder, you're using better bullets and better powder. And you're doing it on a smaller scale where you can keep control of your components and the powder you're using, okay? So getting new into reloading, I highly advise it because it's a lot of fun, and you can begin tailoring your hand loads to all your firearms, and you'll have a lot better results on the field. So with that, thank you very much for watching my videos, and have a good day.